What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another recap. I am your girl, Ash, if you don't already know. So welcome if you are new here to all my oldies but goodies. What is up? What is going on? You already know what the deal is. Sit back, relax. We are reviewing Marriage at First Sight tonight. Are you my person? This is like episode 15, I think. 15 or 16. I can't be keeping up, but either way, it says right there in the title, that's the correct number right there. So stick around, like the video, y'all. You definitely don't know how much liking this video really helps me out. So do that. And of course, subscribe, check out a couple more videos. See if you like it, girl. So y'all, where do we even start? I'm always like, where do we even start? Because I feel like, first off, I keep reminding, we are down to 4 couples by Morgan and Ben. I don't know why I keep trying to this. Probably because like when I take my notes, they're still listed as like a category here, so it just reminds me of their demise. Either way, where we starting at, y'all? Because I don't know if this is because it's just getting closer to the very end or like what, but it's just a lot going on, and everybody is like dealing with like their own little stuff. I mean, like, as always, everybody's like in their good place, but like, having their own like individual issues and hurdles that they're all like just trying to get through. Some that may or break the relationships, and some that may be able to be worked through. So let's just even talk about Mitch and Kristen, because how, first off, Mitch set the tone, did he not, when he first started off with, he basically went on this business trip or whatever, whatnot, and he basically talks about this whole being single again. Like, sir, what? You're not single. You're married. Little did we didn't know what that all necessarily meant for single Mitch or whatever or whatnot. Mitch basically is living, I don't even want to say he's living like 2 separate lives, but that's kind of how I see it when I look at it. He's over here, when he came back, he was very forthcoming, but at the same time, he was very forthcoming. I can't even say that. Like, Mitch is just Mitch. And then like Kristen said, Mitch is not going to say nothing that he don't mean. And one thing about it, Mitch ain't no liar. I don't think that. So clearly, for sure, he made that very pertinent clear. So she basically caught him without his ring on. And that's what kind of like opened the door or whatever, whatnot. He openly admitted to not wearing his ring, basically the entire trip, and being around hot girls, hot females or whatever or whatnot. Now, I'm assuming he wasn't appropriate. He's making statements, but again, they have to be true because he doesn't say anything that he doesn't mean. He was saying, though, even in despite of all that, he missed Kristen and only had eyes for Kristen or whatever or whatnot. So, okay, Mitch, we hear you, but still, taking off your ring, he basically felt like it was just going to be a whole to-do with him putting on his ring, coming back married, and then having to explain everybody in this necessary situation. Excuse. You don't necessarily have to tell people your business, whatever. You're married. You could tell them whatever you want to tell them, but like, or even not tell them. But that was no excuse not to even wear your ring. I felt like it was the ring because he needed a release, which is fine, cool. At the same time, maybe he don't want to admit it. Maybe it is true. But in my eyes, oh, y'all, I got a card. Yeah, my bank card. And then I need to make sure I put that back in my wallet. At the same time, he need to. It just say, I lost my whole train of thought, y'all, getting sidetracked by my damn bank card. So, no, y'all, like he, either way, I think he wanted basically some type of release and a moment of not being married or whatever or whatnot. For whatever reason, that very well or may not could be, it just could be like that in my eyes or whatever or whatnot. Like, maybe he wanted, just to see, like, what it feel like? What would it be different if I'm not married my ring? Will I not feel married? Whatever. Because at the same time, like you said, my friends who know, they know that I'm married, but just not, I guess, basically the whole company. And that basically he would just have to make a whole speech, I guess, to the whole company. Like, Why you gotta do all that? Why you gotta do all that? No, you don't. Like, y'all ain't about to sit here and make me. I don't care if this supposed to be some type of tight knit community. I tell what I want to tell, and I tell what I don't want to tell. Either way, I don't like it. I didn't like Mitch choosing to take off his ring, regardless of whatever he decides of what his excuse, may be. But that seemed to like have been like their biggest issue that they had even like going on. Yeah, well, no, because that's what's a little bit funny, because he was saying something like, oh, well, he, did miss her, whatever, whatever, whatever. But basically, like, it's like a gap. It's a gap between his work life and basically his life with Kristen. But why is that, Mitch? Only you can merge that gap. What is it that you are hiding or not being forth? Well, because I feel like that's low-key like the same thing, but like, why would that be? What's this gap? Because like I said, at the end of the day, he's the only one that can mend the gap. So it's very interesting about Mitch is he seems to really like can give off some nice advice, some good advice or whatever or whatnot, even though he's not really like the best, or really just knows how to like hit on things, like maybe to get to the end, to get to what needs to be like addressed. So basically, because I'm saying that because they as a couple met up with Justin, and Alexis, and apparently, Alexis and Kristen are like, I guess, probably the closest out of the group. They talk all the time, whatever. So and of course, we're definitely going to go ahead and just start jumping into Kristen and Alexis, because basically, of course, they talk about, the situation with him taking off his ring, whatever, whatever. And basically, Alexis basically said the same thing that I did. Like, you could easily still have worn your ring. They didn't need to know like the whole backstory. That was your choice to either give or to not to give, whatever. But on this whole tip of Alexis and Justin, y'all, finally we get an update. We get an update on, Maya. Apparently Maya had ended up biting another dog, in training, whatever. And basically Justin made the decision to give Maya, to a friend who was like a former roommate and a good best friend of his, and, who's comfortable around Maya, knows Maya, and who Maya loves, as well. So with that said, that him giving away Maya ties up into their marriage and them staying married. He wanted to hear that affirmation, that confirmation, which is more of like not even an affirmation, like a confirmation for me from Alexis that it was going to be a yes, on decision day. And Alexis more or less couldn't give him that answer. Was just more or less saying to Justin, she was what's the word? I say redirecting. That may or may not be the word, but y'all know what I mean. Deflecting. That's what it was. I said redirecting, deflecting, or whatever or whatnot. And of course, when Alexis says her side of the story, like I keep like up to like. It's something about Alexis that I'm just like, so when he's talking about feelings of, feeling played by her, and, her, and even Nate feeling like, basically like her playing games, and basically all at the end of the day that she's basically going to end up telling that man no on decision day. And I've been saying, like, I've said the same thing. I've had the hopes at the same time, but I've said the same thing. Like, she is out. Like, she's checked out. She's done. She's playing this whole, role and everything. But I'm not so sure she's still in it the way she's proclaiming to be, in it. And I'm not the only person who seems, see that. Even come from the cast, other cast, and even coming from Justin, who, just is like, I've taken my feelings out of this whole thing. And, I guess was just giving him, some insight, or whatnot. But at the same time, his decision don't need to be based on her decision or whether they want to be together or not. He need to stand on his own toes and figure out what he want to do or not, whether they want to make that choice or not, or as the other way, as it like Miguel, who sees it as, are you my person? because I feel like that's another, like, that's just a conversation in general. But even just a thing between them is the whole fact of, you know, Lindy is a love is a choice, and Miguel is a are you my person? And these are two people with two different outlooks on love and relationships trying to merge together. But then, of course, two different people with two totally different personalities, and it is kind of seeming like Miguel is more wanting her to be who he wants her to be. And the fact of the matter is, and you know, and then when you kind of see it though, it's just like, okay, he cannot handle her personality. So boom, you can't handle her personality and all that, then that's that. There's no point in trying to change it. If you can't handle it, let it be that you just can't handle it. Cause yeah, I kind of feel I feel for Lindy, because I feel like she is trying her best and he's just digging like all into her. Was that done with like Alexis and Justin? Like, for now we is. If there's anything we need to go back to, we're gonna go back, y'all. But for now, as we talking about them, like, they had friends over playing this Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I think I just have to look it up and just kind of like get a backstory. So is it about just telling stories and playing those stories out? Because y'all, I was just as confused as Lindy. I was sitting here like putting my face like up close, like trying to make sure I understand. Like, so wait, what? So who? I'm supposed to respond to you. We're supposed to have conversation, dialogue based on what? I don't know what I'm doing. But I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? But I ain't knocking nobody, because you know this is like real popular. Like, people really rock with this game. But this is I think a different type of game than what I thought it was or whatever. So either way, y'all. No, I do. I be losing it, y'all, for a minute. But yeah, y'all. So that child, they had friends over and they was playing the Dungeons and Dragons, and they had their moments where they went and separated and was talking to their friends or whatever or whatnot. And of course, Lindy not being able to, and she's been saying it, that's basically she's been stifled in this relationship, because she's been not being able to express herself the way she would normally express herself. At the same time though, I'm like, is that a necessary? And maybe she's making it more than what it is, but it's like, okay, is that necessarily a consistent way that you should communicate? Even if that's just you, should you always be talking like I don't know. Okay, I don't know how I want to say this, because it's a difference between always yelling and things like that in an argument. So I'm trying to figure out, is that like the level that like she gets to, or is I don't know. It does become of like a form of communication issue, or is it just like, I don't know. And I think that's where I'm at with Lindy. Is just like, okay, is this your person? You're like, this is your personality, but I'm just like, at the same time, like, nobody's gonna want to communicate with someone continually like that, where there's like, maybe I'm wrong. I like talk to me, like, y'all drop down below, like, in Lindy's communication, how she says like she really is, and we have her being able to let loose and let all like her real self come out. Is I'm scared. I'm worried about like what that could really look like at this point. Like, but Miguel immediately went on her after their friends left. Like, basically, soon as he shut the door, he didn't even sit down before he's like, I know that I'm concerned that basically of how basically you painted me, or what you said, and your emotions and whatever. I'm like, oh wow, like this is really what we're doing. This is really what we're doing. And poor it's like poor Lindy, but not poor Lindy. But like I really feel she really feel like that she is going to lose this man, y'all, and she's really wanting to really try to conform to be this person for him. But the reality is, how happy is she going to be if she conforms to this person that he wants her to be? Or that again, is Lindy just seeing it as not realizing that this can be a communication flaw, I guess, necessarily, and there is some ways that she can better communicate. Not that he's just trying to change that, it's just, hey, how can we better communicate? Y'all let me know. Talk to me. Y'all let me know. But I immediately was like, all this has to be his perception based on how he grew up, him not having his mom, him, his mom abandoning them, maybe even just, his father always just working hard. Like, so one, boom. We know that Stasha has this house that she already, bought, that they're supposed to be moving into. Nate, of course, I think with, especially a stranger, I can understand his apprehensive because, it's at the end of the day, it's her house, even though it's their house. It's her house. And if something was to happen, his concern is, what's going to happen to me? You could put me out. Are you going to threaten to put me out? All right, those are things they can push through. Those are things they can get through. Even the whole, compromising on how their place is going to look, whatever. Like, style, like their tastes clearly are like just two totally different. Like Stasha's face, his facial expressions when he was picking out, the things that, like the knobs, like the heart, because I went to the hardware store and stuff like that he liked, and which I actually kind of like. Like, I like crystal stuff. Like, don't be coming for crystals, Stasha. Like, don't do that with your bougie ass. Like, don't be doing that, girl. So, no, but I love you, girl. I love you, girl. But no, so y'all, what happened? Yes. It all came down to, they, talking about like, having kids. Like for one, the kids thing came up because, Stasha, is very like OCD clean, like type level or whatnot. And Nate's like, which I could definitely get him on that, like on a realistic level, like, are you, which people do it all the time. Famous people, they manage to keep these nice houses or whatever. So I'm not saying that it can be done, but it is kind of like, are you though being aware and conscious, okay, that, kids are, messy, and, kids are just kids. That's kind of just like how, how I got to put it. It's like, I'm going to be watching them. I love it. I love it, Stasha. I love where you're going. So I support it. Do your thing. I ain't even going to fight with you. Because you got the bag. You got more than what I got to make sure that your house stays squeaky, squeaky clean. Okay? Even with a child. So, not even that, y'all. So, what really got sticky is, and what I was talking about, from the beginning, because I know that might have been like, well, weird, like, what did, came out of nowhere with that. But he feels like there is no fun when you have a baby, or especially when you have, an infant. And so, even, and I love it. I love like their, like communication. I love how a lot of these couples really are able to communicate. So it's just like, okay, what do you mean? Like, show me what that looks like. And basically he's like, from 1 to 3, we need to be like face forward, like basically writing the child all up in the child face. And Sasha's more just like, there's a little bit of room. I do feel like we can travel and, still have fun. Like, and I can get it. Having a baby, especially an infant, newborn, or whatever, that cannot be fun. But at the same time, it can be. It actually can be. I have kids, of course. I knew y'all get all into, We can get on and on and on like that. But you find the fun or whatever, even if that's just like, seeing your mate with the baby and the ways of just trying to make the baby happy and bonding with the baby and just like things that y'all do. Or even if it's y'all first baby and y'all never been around babies and don't know what y'all doing, y'all gonna do this, like, it can be fun. That's just taking care of the baby. But as well, what I think people don't talk about as well, especially for single moms, is the mental health behind it. Y'all still are going to need, that y'all time. So no, I can understand you not wanting to go on like a vacation for a long time or whatever or whatnot. But after the baby gets but so much age, it's okay to leave the baby with grandma for the weekend, with grandpa for the weekend. Overnight staycations or whatever or whatnot. Like I said, even overnight, just for y'all to have fun. Like, so, but I think I think again, all that circles and him and that insecurity, because even like after their date, which seemed to be nice and calm, when they came back home, it was just like even more, heated. And even to the point that he's like already doesn't have trust in her, as a mother. And I think that's where his pause also comes in, because he's like, you're ready to jump in and have a baby, and lady, I don't even know you yet. Like, I'm just now getting to know you, and then adding on the fact that I need to know that you're not going to just dip out on me and leave me with this baby. That's all. Like, that's what it is right there. That's it right there. So and it just seems like y'all next week, it's just going to go to more shit. It's just going to go to more shit. So we going to stick around for it. Y'all know I'm going to be here for it. They gave your girl the community tab, y'all. So I can easily more keep y'all updated on when can y'all expect videos when they're not coming back in time. I'm definitely going to try to, not push it more, not be too late and getting any of the rest of this week's videos out. And of course, at the latest, Married at First Sight will be at the latest Sunday, but I'm really, really working hard to try to get that out earlier for y'all than the starting of the week. But y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Again, give your girl a like. It really helps a lot. Push this video out to other people like you who love this form of content. So, y'all, I'm going to see y'all later. Catch you in the next recap. And as always, peace.